What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV. Kick back, relax, and come take a ride with your boy. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV. Welcome back to the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Now, kick back, relax, and come take a ride with your boy. Look, man, the first round of the Wnba draft, 28th edition, just went down. The most highly anticipated draft we've seen in quite some time. I'm banking on it being one of the most watched drafts, probably the most watched draft that we've seen in some time, due to the star power that has captivated women's basketball. Going from the college ranks, we followed these players through the NCAA tournament, and now they make that transition to the pro ranks just weeks after the tournament recap, man. The big names we know, Caitlin Clark going number one, but after that, it was kind of a toss-up. So I'm giving my grades, my reactions, and how I feel, man. I think a lot of teams did a lot of great things, and overall, the draft was dope, man, to be honest. The environment, the energy from the crowd, the storytelling of Holly Rowe. You know what I'm saying? Andrea Carter was amazing. Rebecca Lobo. Like, it was just an amazing production. Seeing the families, hearing the backstories, seeing the coaches' reactions. Like, it was, man, it felt like a whole community type thing, man. I really enjoyed the draft this year. I really got to say. They did a phenomenal job, man. The WNBA is taking all this attention from the women's college game, and they are capitalizing on it right now. So, shout out to them. Now we just need expansion and increased pay. But we going to leave that for another time. Before we get into all the grades and the reactions, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button for all the latest and the greatest. And join our memberships. We got that exclusive content coming daily, weekly, whenever you need it. Now, let's get into it.
You are now locked into the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Here is your host, Brandon Blakeney.
Starting off, like we said, we knew the Indiana Fever. Everybody knew, unless you've been under a rock, that they were taking Caitlin Clark. Not only for the name, but the skill set as well, man, because she fits an immediate need, and that is a passing guard. Yes, we know she was a bucket, but let's not ignore the 1,000 assists, man. She was dishing that rock. Now we get a dynamic duo with Aaliyah Boston, who is cheesing ear to ear, along with Caitlin Clark. They also have Kelsey Mitchell, who's a stud as well. So that's a really good big three to build around. Indiana was kind of a doormat of the league, but they still fought hard. They competed every game, and they did show some really good signs and bright spots. Caitlin Clark is going to sell out arenas. We know that. We've seen Tyrese Halliburton already giving her the shout out. It's all over social media. She's going to fill seats. She even said it herself. It's going to be a hot ticket. Get your tickets now. But we're talking about one of the most highly decorated college players to ever come in, the most prolific scoring guard we've ever seen, coming in that pick and roll with Aaliyah Boston. She ain't never played with no Aaliyah Boston in her whole career, y'all. No disrespect to Hannah Stokey, but come on. This is a whole different type of what's going on. This is a whole different type of flavor over here, if you know what I'm saying. Aaliyah Boston, bigger, physical, and just honestly more skilled than any big that she has ever teamed up with, man. Her and Clark are going to do damage. That was one thing with the Fever last year that was killing me, man. They did not have a guard that could get Aaliyah Boston the ball. And you're talking about a player in Aaliyah Boston who can stretch the floor, shoot the ball, pick and pop, you know what I'm saying? But also has the capability of finding Caitlin Clark. If she gets double teamed in the post, Boston's kicking that thing out. Like, she's a gifted passer, a monster on the boards. You get Kelsey Mitchell now who can go off ball and just focus on scoring the basketball. Man, I really like this team. I think they're going to play faster than last year. They're going to be way more open. And people have talked about it a lot, guys. Is Caitlin Clark going to be able to get her rocks off the way she is in college? Is she going to be able to play the same way that she's playing? Is she really going to be able to get her off in the WNBA? That's what we all been wondering. And, you know, the Indiana Fever coaching staff has already came out and said, why mess with it? Why try to fix something that's not broken? Clark's going to have the green light. She's going to have the keys to the offense. And there's nothing stopping this team from honestly being a playoff contender, man. Just from adding Caitlin Clark. This isn't no hype train. We ain't riding nothing like it. Ain't nothing like that. She is joining a squad with talent that was really a guard away from making some serious noise. Now they get a playmaker who can initiate offense and get these scorers the ball and make life easier for these players, man. So I'm excited. Aaliyah Boston is a special talent. They get back-to-back number one picks, which never happens. That's insane. I don't know what the Fever are doing, but they got number one picks in consecutive drafts. That don't never happen. That's nuts. But Caitlin Clark coming to Indiana, we know the cultural impact she's going to make there. As far as, man, they might have more viewers than the Pacers. They don't watch out. I'm telling you, man. Clark, Iowa is not that far from Indiana. She's going to have that following. She's playing in a bigger platform, better resources, better talent. And we've already seen ticket prices double for certain teams. Teams have had to move venues. Like, it's going to be major. I think what she did for the college game, she will be able to do for the WNBA as well. And not just her alone. Not saying it's just got to be her and she's the be-all, end-all, be-all. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying, looking at the perspective, man, she's elevated the game. She's a brand, and she's going to bring a lot of eyeballs. And I'm actually really interested to see, too, if she ends up making the Olympic team, because that would be major as well. Moving on to the LA Sparks, man, they hit 2 home runs. They might have won the draft. I love what the LA Sparks did, man. They lost a lot in free agency. They bring some pieces back, but they have shored up the front court, man. You lose a Wnba, that's a huge loss. But bringing in Cameron Brink, who is just scratching the surface, man. I felt like it would either be Brink or Cardoso in this pick. Brink a little bit more seasoned, more farther along on the offensive side of the ball. But, I mean, we've seen her expand her game, man. She can shoot the 3, pick and pop, get it off the dribble. I seen a highlight. She hit a Euro step off the dribble. At 6'4", just long, elite shot blocker, elite timing, has gotten more physical. She'll need to put a little weight on, a little muscle on, but they'll get her right in L.A. I think it's mad cool that she gets to stay in Cali, too, man. Just stay into her roots. But Brink, major upside still. I think she's just scratching the surface. But she's an elite rim protector, which will help the Sparks immediately transition into this next era of trying to get the respect of their franchise back. But I'm excited to see her as well as Rickea Jackson, man. Like, 2 home runs. Rickea Jackson might be the most ready player in this entire draft, man. You talk about a player that can play the 3 or the 4. She's just going to be a walking bucket in the WNBA, man. The highly coveted wing, can play on the perimeter, has the handle, has the lateral movement, has that wiggle in her game, can get shots off, can play back to the basket, hit the fadeaway, hit the mid-range, hit the three-pointer. She can bring the ball up the court. Like, she is just special, man. I think Rickea Jackson, we could look back at the end of all this, and Rickea Jackson could be the most accomplished player in this draft. I'm just saying I wouldn't be shocked. She is elite. And then putting her next to Cameron Brink, who can focus more on the defensive side, but can also still give you points as well. I mean, they're going to be tough to defend, y'all. You're talking about 2 forwards that can really stretch the floor, that can get it off the dribble, that can defend. Like, this is exciting for them, man. They bring back Zaya Cook. And they have some talent, man. Like, I'm excited to see how this team looks next season, or this season coming up, I should say. I think, we've seen so many rookies that have been cut in the first round in the past years, but I think, in my opinion, between them and Chicago, they keep both of their rookies, man. But Rickea Jackson, home run hit. I was hoping they would get her, man. I wasn't sure I thought maybe they would get her at 2 and then bank on Cameron Brink or Cardoso, just grabbing one of them, whoever was there. But they went big first. Shout out Cameron Brink, because she's a stud. She's a gamer. I loved seeing her in that 3-on-3 tournament, showing how physical she could be in the international stage. Her length is a problem. Her being able to stretch the floor is going to be a problem. You know what I'm saying? They lose like a Katie Lou Samuelson. You get a Cameron Brink who can come in and really produce right away. Rickea Jackson will be in that Rookie of the Year running. I think they need to give her the ball and get the heck out of the way. I've loved hearing both of their stories, man. Both of them, just crediting their family and everybody that's poured into them. It truly does take a village to get to that point. So that was really awesome to see. And it's interesting to see this dynamic duo. Like, just They do so many things well, y'all. Like the Sparks really hit it out the park, guys. I mean, I love how interchangeable these two players will be, man. Like Rickea Jackson getting it into the paint, and them in transition, trying to stop them in transition. How both of them, I mean, Cam Brink at 6'4" runs like a gazelle. They both can get up and down the floor. They're both super skilled. They're both dogs. They got that tenacity, and they're coming to compete, man. Brink out there looking like a prime Cameron Diaz. I mean, this is nuts, guys. This is nuts. But I love it, man. I love the energy, man. She doing some modeling too. They getting that NIL money still. Nobody taking pay cuts. They moving along, man. The biggest story, though, which is crazy, especially after the brawl, especially after so many tough competitions from high school to now being bitter rivals in college. Now, Angel Reese, Kamilla Cardoso, Angel Reese are teaming up in Chi-Town, y'all. Playing in Chicago with T-Spoon. Just a legendary player in the WNBA, bringing in two dogs. I mean, who is, man? Chicago on the glass? Angel Reese, Kamilla Cardoso competing with that on the glass? Oh my gosh. Like, that is going to be tough. You talk about two fierce competitors who ain't backing down from nobody. This is another team that I think keeps both of their rookies, man. They've solidified their front court from the present and the future. They needed size. They bring in two of the best bigs in the entire country, two dominant glass eaters. Kamilla Cardoso has so much upside. She's just scratching the surface. Her offensive game, when she gets a go-to move, watch out. But elite shot blocker, elite rebounder, runs the floor really, really well, athletic, and just is a sponge, man. She's gotten better every year she's been in college. On top of that, you add Angel Reese, who y'all saw my last video where we were showing her hitting the three, stretching the floor. She can shoot the ball. She's shown those point forward skills where she can bring the ball up the court and initiate offense. She's a gifted passer, so she will be able to help get Kamilla Cardoso the basketball as well. Dominant on the glass. I think she will show more finesse and more of her skill set in the WNBA, man, because she's not going to be able to just bully players like she did at LSU. So I think we see both of these players really get their next level, that full potential unlocked with this Chicago Sky team. I'm excited, man. They're gritty, they're tough, they're competitors, and that's the perfect type of player and personalities for a city like Chicago, man. Shout out Kamilla Cardoso. Very emotional. She about had your man cry a little bit, tearing up a little bit, like who's cutting onions up in here. Having her family, crediting her sister for getting her involved in basketball, man. It was just awesome to see her be able to share that moment. Them coming from Brazil, her leaving home at 15, maybe the biggest obstacle to overcome in this draft for like all the players, man. Like leaving home, having to go out on your own into a different country and not speaking the language, and being 6'7", like that's tough, man. You know, she stuck out like a sore thumb, and she harnessed that talent and finds herself in the league. I love what Chicago did, y'all. I love it. Looking at another team that made some really good moves, I think, was the Washington Mystics, man, picking up Aaliyah Edwards, who is just a skilled four. They needed a stretch four. Elena Delle Donne not playing this season, so they needed a stretch four, man, to pair with that front court. They already had Shakira Austin, who is a monster in the paint, in the glass, a glass eater, a big physical post player. Now you get some finesse in there with Edwards, who can spread the floor, shoot the rock, and really, really get up and down the floor, but is a gifted passer as well. Can dribble it, can go coast to coast if you don't stop ball. Like, just a lot of good things, Aaliyah Edwards, man. She already just looks like a pro. She's played on the Canadian national team, carries herself well, just always looks poised, super consistent, tough, played with a broken nose. We know, like, she is gritty, and she's going to come and instill a toughness in this team that needs it, because they're missing a lot of talent, especially their franchise player, Delle Donne, who will be out. So they will rely on Austin and Edwards, man, this young front court, to grow up quick and perform, man. But I love the fact that Aaliyah Edwards is in a position where she can really get busy, really get her shot off, and really just develop and be able to play through mistakes, because that's big with rookies, man. So excited to see that, man. Aaliyah Edwards, super skilled, super polished, super consistent. You know what you're getting. You know that she'll be able to contribute almost from day one, in my opinion. She'll come in, she'll learn, she'll be a leader, she'll embrace the culture, and hey, man, she's welcoming all the Canadians to the nation's capital, so turn up. Lastly, one other player I wanted to touch on was really like the most versatile player probably in the draft, and that's Alyssa Peely, getting taken by the Minnesota Lynx, the storied franchise who Maya Moore and Simone Augustus and so many others had on their back. I'm excited to see what she ends up doing, man. I think just her versatility, being just big, physical, but also so skilled on the perimeter. She's got a post body, but a guard game. She can score down low. She can really shoot the rock. We seen her give South Carolina about 30 of them things. Like, she is just a really tough guard, and she's going to be a walking mismatch. I think Minnesota will definitely be able to utilize her scoring. You know, they addressed some issues in the backcourt, through free agency. Now adding Peely, who can play the 3 or the 4, just was putting Utah on her back all year, man. She had some huge games, 40 point, 30 point. Like, she is a walking bucket. She's instant offense. She's been in college a while, you know what I'm saying? She's a veteran. She's another player like Aaliyah Edwards, who's poised, who's ready to contribute, who knows how to conduct herself as a pro. And it's just been incredible in the college ranks. And I think just her being able to get it off the dribble, shoot the basketball, be a bully. She talked about her versatility and her physicality being the two biggest traits for her coming in, and I think that will be exceptional. So I'm excited to see Peely, man. I think she's going to be a bona fide star in the WNBA just because of her versatility. She's a bucket. She's going to be bodying up, and she's got that toughness about her, man, that dog in her. So I'm excited to see. I know JC Sheldon also went early to the Dallas Wings, which I think that was a great pick as well. You talk about a 5'10 guard, big guard who can really shoot the basketball. The Wings had a good team last year, man. They've got talent, but they weren't really knocking down any threes. You add Sheldon, who's a really good defender, can pass the basketball, be that point guard, but also light it up from deep, get to the cup. You know what I'm saying? She's a 3-level scorer, a really good defender, and she ain't afraid to get her nose down there and play, you know what I'm saying, get dirty for that basketball. She will get them 50-50 balls. I mean, she's a scrapper, man. She's not backing down, and I think that's a player Dallas will love. Celeste Taylor also got drafted from Ohio State, so that was cool to see, too, this dynamic backcourt. But, yeah, Sheldon's the real deal, man. She's a gamer. She's going to come in and provide shooting, and shooting always translates. So shout out to her as well, man. A lot of talent in that first round, and I'm excited to see these ladies just continue to soar in the professional game. I will definitely be tuned in. I know y'all will. Y'all holler at me. Let me know y'all's grades. Who are y'all excited about? Who had the best draft? And what are y'all's initial reactions? Let me know how y'all feel. That's a wrap for us. For all the latest and the greatest, I am Brandon Blakeney, a.k.a. Brandon Lee TV. Until next time, hey, we out.